الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we thank Him. Alhamdulillah ala ni'mat al-Islam wa sunnah. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the sunnah. We would like to thank the organizers of this weekend's lecture series. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward each and every one of them tremendously for their efforts and bless them. Bidnillah, in these next few minutes, we would like to send an address to the sisters. But it is not an address that is devoid of benefit for the brothers. Our sisters, bila shak wa bila rayb, they are a demographic that is very important and their role is tremendous. So it is only right and only befitting that from the series of lectures that we have a lecture that is dedicated to our sisters and addressing our sisters specifically. Bila shak wa bila rayb, there is a tremendous ni'mah, a tremendous bounty upon us, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has guided us to Islam. And a tremendous bounty upon us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has guided us to the sunnah of Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is why the title of today's talk for the sisters is, my dear sisters, hold on and be strong. It centers and it focuses around this reality of recognizing the bounty of Islam, this reality of recognizing the bounty of the Sunnah, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has guided us to the Sunnah. This is a bounty that is tremendous. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inside of His noble book, He tells us, Inna ad-deena 'inda Allahi al-Islam, that verily the only religion that is accepted by Allah is Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us about those who may desire, who may want, who may crave a deen other than the deen of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And that whoever desires a religion other than Islam, whoever he wants, he's looking for a deen, he's looking for a way of life other than the deen of Islam, that it will never be accepted from him. فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. It will never be accepted from him, never ever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has guided us to the deen of Islam in which He accepts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us that if individuals, they want and they desire another deen, it will never be accepted from them. And not just it will never be accepted from them, but the consequences of such, then they are disastrous. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And in the hereafter, he will most definitely be from the losers. In the hereafter, verily, he is from the losers. He will be a loser. There is not a single individual except that he wants to be successful, and not a single individual except that he wants to succeed, he wants to success. And the ultimate success is Jannah. The ultimate success, it is Jannah. Bila shakwa, bila rayb. For the individuals who are intelligent, they recognize this fact. That this temporal dunya is not something that we should ever become attached to. And that the beauty and the laws of this world is never something in which we should be connected to like that. But we have to look at this world from its proper perspective. And from this reason is why we wanted to focus in and we wanted to look at some of the benefits that come in Riyadus Salihin. And although this topic in this address, in this particular lecture, is outside of that general theme, in the sense that we're not going over any specific hadith that is contained inside of Riyadus Salihin, nor any of his chapters and the ayat that may come at the head of those chapters. However, Imam Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions a tremendous line of poetry inside of the beginning of Riyadus Salihin. A tremendous line of poetry inside of the muqaddimah, the introduction for this tremendous book. And that is the statement of the poet, Inna lillahi ibadan futana طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنة نظروا فيها فلما علموا أنها ليست لحي وطنا جعلوها لجة واتخذوا صالح الأعمال فيها سفنا. He said that verily Allah has slaves, has servants that are extremely intelligent. They have divorced the dunya and they fear the trials and tribulations. They have divorced the dunya and they fear from the trials and the tribulations. They had looked inside of it. They had examined it. They had deeply examined the dunya and looked inside of it. And once they have done this, thus they have known that verily this is not the abode of one who is truly alive. This is not the abode of one who truly craves life. Because this is the lowly life, and hence why it has been named a dunya, that which is low, that which is less. So what should be our relationship with this dunya? And this is important for us to know and to contemplate on. What should be our relationship with this world? The poet, he says in the last page, جَعَلُوهَا لُبْجَةً وَاتَّخَذُوا. So therefore they had taken this world, and to them this world is nothing but an ocean and great and expensive, or great and extensive bodies of water. They have to be crossed. So they have taken this as just a body of water that has to be crossed. We have to get across it. And thus they have taken their righteous actions as the boat by way in which will carry them through this dunya. And this is something that we need to have on our minds, is that this dunya is a time for us to earn righteous good deeds, to put forth efforts for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, working for our hereafter. And this is what I want to remind a lot of the sisters, and I want to remind all of the sisters and those brothers who are present and those who my voice may reach them, of this reality. And that is to view this dunya properly. That it is a place, it is a time for us to gain benefit for ourselves. To gain benefit for ourselves by believing properly in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By following the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. By believing properly in the deen of al-Islam and submitting ourselves unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a time by way in which we put forth those efforts to gain some good for ourselves, to gain some khair for ourselves. And whatever we put forward from good, لَتَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, we will find it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is something that I want to remind myself of first and foremost, before anyone else. I want to remind myself of first and foremost to take full advantage of this time frame that we are in, to take full advantage of this life, and do not squander this opportunity. Do not squander this opportunity. Because if we were to take a lesser example, we would say the squandering of such will be idiotic. If we were to take a lesser example, we would say the squandering of such will be idiotic. If an individual lets you go free inside of a vault, and they said that you can grab whatever you want to grab from the denominations of money inside of this vault, and whatever you can grab is yours. Right? You with me? Whatever you can take is yours. No problem. Without any worry, without any blame, is yours. The only catch is that you have a limited time to do it. So we're going to put you on a timer. And whatever that time may be, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Whatever the time may be, this is your period of time to gather whatever it is you want to gather. And when the time is up, stop. You can't take any more. It's over. There's not a single one from amongst us, except that we will work very hard in whatever duration of time in which we were allotted to grab as much as we possibly can. Lima la? Why not? Right? We would take advantage of the opportunity, right or wrong. Now, of course, this is a lesser example because it's dealing with what? It's dealing with this gathering some money. I didn't mention to you that there will be any repercussions at the end of it, that there will be any potential reward or potential punishment at the end of it. No, this is just gathering some money in a short period of time. We will take advantage. But now, if someone was given that and the clock started, and then he sat there and he fixed his kufi, and she adjusted her khimar, if he took the time to talk to the people who were adjacent to him and ask them how they were doing and so on and so forth, and how they like working there, and we will all be yelling at him, "What are you doing? You don't see the clock is running? Go! What are you doing? Why are you still standing there?" Or if he casually walked through it, or she casually walked through it, and they grabbed some bills here and some bills there, and then they stopped and they played with their phone, and they stopped, and then now they want to, see their high score on Candy Crush or whatever. We will say, "What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time doing these things? For what? Grab benefit for yourself." We would think something was wrong with them. They were crazy. Wait. This is the case as relates to what? Just gathering some money. So what about the ultimate reward of Jannah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us here in this dunya for a short period of time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that everyone who is living in this dunya, we're all going to die. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every soul will die. None of us is here forever. None of us is living indefinitely. We all have a period of time. We don't know what the time is, and that's from Allah's mercy. And we don't know when we're going to die. That's from Allah's mercy. However, we know we're going to die. That death could be today, it could be tomorrow, it can be after Asr, it can be a few hours from now, it can be a few decades from now. Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best how long we have. But we know one day is going to be our last day. We know one moment will be our last moment. We know one breath will be our last breath. We know that one heartbeat will be our last heartbeat. We know that. So what sense would it make to squander that time? Now, let us look at this. Is that the lifespan in which we have been given is very short. The lifespan that we have been given is very short. And no matter how long we live, it's always short. No matter how long we live, it's always short. Right? Because what is after this? After this is what? Forever. Forever. So what we do in a very short period of time will have a bearing on our forever. Okay? When we add all of that into the equation, then how much more so is it irrational to squander a short period of time by way in which you can really get what they say, the most bang for your buck, you can really excel and have a very, very good forever. But instead of doing that, we waste our time and we squander our lives away. And now for forever there is misery. So it is incumbent that we look at these things properly. And I'm saying all this to say it as a reminder, because we live in a society, we live during a time where it is not fashionable in every situation and at every time to do that which is correct. Where we're being called to do so many things that are incorrect. We're being invited to so many lifestyles that is not correct. We're being called to so much evil and so much corruption. And we're being told that it's okay and that it's good for us and that it is a sign of progress. It is a sign that we are moving forward. This is a sign that we are modern. The shaitan has many ways to beautify the batil. We live in a time where it becomes especially hard for our sisters. And I'm saying all that to say, because as the sentiment of Islamophobia, it increases in certain regions, in certain areas, in certain places, neighborhoods, boroughs, so on and so forth. See, as brothers, we can go outside incognito. Right? As brothers, we can go outside incognito. Not saying we should. Not saying I'm encouraging that. Not saying that I'm an advocate of such, because I'm not. But we could. And many times, many of the brothers, they do. But see, the sisters, they don't have that luxury, now do they? Because if they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and dress properly as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded them to dress, then automatically they are what? They are noticeably Muslim. They are noticeably Muslim. That puts upon them pressure, especially when they're being made to feel that you don't belong, especially when they're being made to feel that you shouldn't be like that because you are here. You see, the kuffar, they don't understand. They say, but you're here, you shouldn't be like that. Why? What does that mean? You think one country or one area is devoid from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's rules? You think one area is devoid from Allah ta'ala's knowledge? Allah ta'ala doesn't know what's going on there. Allah ta'ala does not see what is going on there. Allah ta'ala does not hear what is going on there, so on and so forth. Allah is all aware. They don't realize that all of the earth belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fear Allah haythama kunt. Fear Allah wherever you may be. This is the Muslim. So whether we're on Earth, or we're on Mars, or we're anywhere in the stars, or anywhere, we have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now how much more so anywhere inside the planet, inside the earth itself? It doesn't matter. We can be in the east or the west, the north or the south. We still have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We still have to do what we have to do. We can't change. But why should we want to change? Why should we feel pressure to want to change? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us to the deen that He accepts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that those who desire other than deen of al-Islam, it will never be accepted from them and they will be the losers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. On this day I have perfected for you your religion. Allah has given us a way of life that is perfect. So why would we want anything else? You understand? I'll give you another low example. For those coffee lovers, if someone gave you proverbially a perfect cup of coffee, and then someone came with a horrible cup of coffee, lesser than that cup in which you had a perfect cup of coffee, would you trade it? No. You wouldn't trade it, would you? You'll say, what I want that for? I have a good cup of coffee right here. This is the best coffee bean in the world. What do you mean trade it for what? For that? No, thank you. No, thank you. You understand? So how much more so Allah Ta'ala has given us a perfect way of life. Trade it for what? For that? No, thank you. For that which Allah does not accept? No, thank you. For that which Allah Ta'ala says that the person will be a loser? No, thank you. Allah has perfected for us our religion and completed His favor upon us. And He has And He's pleased that we have Islam as our religion. And He's pleased that we have Islam as our religion. Allah is pleased that we are Muslims, pleased that Islam is our way of life. It's our way of life. It's not just something we pull out for Jumu'ah. You understand? Islam is 24/7, every day of the week, every day of the year, for our whole life. We have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a mercy, this is a ni'mah upon us. And we have to remember this. And of course, we are not at a time where we're going through the tremendous difficulties that the companions they went through. This is not a time that we're going through the pressure that the companions they went through. But it is a time of difficulty nonetheless. A time where we are under pressures to compromise our religion. We're under pressures to let go of our deen. We have to reject this in every which way, shape, and form. And it reminds me of those lines of poetry that the Sahaba they were reciting and they were saying when they were digging the ditch. You remember when all of the mushrikun they came against the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahaba, they wanted to eradicate Islam. They came there with the intent of genocide. Very, very rough times. But in doing that, they were praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this bounty of Islam. They were praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this bounty of the deen of al-Islam, and that Allah ta'ala had guided them to Islam. So I want us to have this sense, to have this feeling, and to have this sentiment of being happy that we are Muslims. To hold on to our religion. This is why I said, sisters, my dear sisters, hold on and be strong. Don't give in. Don't bend. Don't compromise in ways in which are not Islamic. You understand? Because there are certain things in which we have some space in that Allah has allowed us to do, and so on and so forth. But then there are other compromises that we have not been allotted to do it. We've not been allowed to do it. So we have to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to refuse. We have to refuse those calls for us to be un-Islamic. Those calls for us to go against our religion. Those calls for us to just be Muslim by name. When they were coming against the Sahaba, they were saying, Wallahi lawla Allah mahtadayna ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا فأنزلن سكينة علينا وثبت أقدامنا إن لقينا والمشركون قد بغوا علينا وإذا أرادوا فتنة أبينا. And then the Prophet ﷺ, when he heard this, he said 3 times, وَيَمُدُّ صَوْتَ أَبَيْنَا أَبَيْنَا أَبَيْنَا. The Sahaba, they were saying what means. And by Allah, swear by Allah, that were it not for Allah, we would not have been guided. You understand? This guidance is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to preserve the gift in which Allah Ta'ala has given us. We have to preserve that gift and be thankful and appreciative for that gift in which Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has blessed us with, and that Allah Ta'ala has guided us to the deen of al-Islam. So they said, by Allah, if it was not for Allah, we would not have been guided. Nor would we have given charity, nor would we have prayed. Wallahi, is a ni'mah upon us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us and given us the tawfiq to pray already in this day, Fajr and Dhuhr. How many people are not guided to even know about these salawat? How many people are deprived of such? Alhamdulillah, Allah has guided us. We have prayed and we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us. Ameen. So they said, so send down the sakina upon us. send down the tranquility upon us, and make our feet firm if we were to meet them, meaning if we were to meet the enemy. Make our feet firm. Make our feet firm, because you see, we're going to be put in trials from time to time where we're going to need to beg Allah to make us firm. Times where it's going to be easy to go the wrong way. Times where it's going to be attractive and made to seem fair seeming for us to go the wrong way. Times where it's going, for the sisters, it's going to be made fair seeming to you to take off your khimar, sister. Why you gotta dress like that? Don't dress like that no more. Let your hair be seen. Why you gotta listen to your husband or listen to your father? You're independent now. This is 2016. What are you doing? They're being called to all types of things. Wa'iyadu billah. But we're going to need to beg Allah to make us firm. To make us firm. They said, وَالْمُشْرِكُونَ قَدْ بَغُوا عَلَيْنَا, because these polytheists, they have transgressed the bounds against us. These polytheists, they have transgressed the bounds against us. وَإِذَا أَرَادُوا فِتْنَةً أَبَيْنَا, and if they want for us fitna, if they want for us fitna, the ulama, they say that al-ma'na al-fitna huna al-shirk. If they want for us shirk, if they want for us the kufr, if they want for us polytheism, if they want for us un-Islamic ways, if they want for us an un-Islamic lifestyle, so on and so forth, abayna, we refuse. And upon hearing this, the Prophet ﷺ, he extended his voice and he said 3 times, what translated means, we refuse, we refuse, we refuse. So we have to let it be known that if you want us to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want us to anger Allah to make you happy, we refuse. We refuse. If you want us to give up our religion, we refuse. If you want us to compromise all of everything, we refuse. It is important that we have this strength. It is important that we help and cooperate and aid one another upon this. So I encourage my sisters to hold on and to be strong. Because no doubt the Prophet ﷺ, he told us, يَأْتِي عَلَى النَّاسِ زَمَانٌ الْقَابِضُ فِيهِ عَلَى دِينِهِ كَالْقَابِضِ عَلَى الْجَمْرِ. That there will come a time upon mankind that the one who holds on to his religion in that time will be like the one who holds on to coals. Coals, right? The ulama, they explain that the jamr is not just a coal that is hot within itself, but it's also a coal that emanates such an amount of heat that just the heat coming off of it makes you stay away from it. Just the heat that emanates from it is enough to make you back up from it. And the Prophet ﷺ said that a time will come upon mankind where holding on to his religion is not just like getting close to this coal, but it is like holding on to it, which is very difficult. It's very difficult. We will be disingenuous to ourselves to believe that we have not seen some of this from the time in which we are in. If we think such, let us look at our children, especially those children who are in the public school systems. Let us see their pressure. Let us see their peer pressure that emanates from them. Let us see how difficult it is for our children to hold on to their Islamic identity. How easy they want to fit in because they don't want to be the odd one out. How easy it is to do this and to do that and to try to hide this and try to hide that. Why? Because they don't want to be shunned. Ask those who are sent away to universities. As parents, do we think there's no pressures that are going on there? As parents, do we think, oh no, it's fine, they want them to be doctors and engineers and, scientists and so on and so forth, so it's fine, yeah, go. You have to be very wise and very intelligent about the likes of these things and really examine these things and really look at our priorities and see what is important to us. Because if what is important to us is that which will end at the grave, then we need to really sit down and have some self-evaluation. We need to really sit down and we need to examine ourselves and to check ourselves. Because all of those things, they end at the grave. What are those things in which we had helped our children with that will go beyond the grave? Those things that will benefit them beyond this life. You understand? And how much more so when those things from these degrees and so on and so forth don't even help them until the grave. No, you didn't know that. A person is a doctor, that don't help him until he died. Unless he died when he's young. If he dies while he's a doctor, okay, I'll give you that one. Okay? But what if he lives to be an old person? Doctors retire, don't they? Right? Engineers retire, don't they? Scientists, everyone, they retire. Right? So at that point of their retirement, it helped them up until then. That's it. It's done. But what's going to go beyond the grave? And again, or we should say, I don't want anyone to think that this is a belittlement of such. It's not. It's not a belittlement. We need doctors. We need women who are OBGYNs and doctors and specialties. We need that. We need women who are surgeons. We need women who are anesthesiologists and so on and so forth. Wouldn't it be lovely to have a operating room where everyone in there is a woman? So when your wife needs an operation, everyone in there is a woman? That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? So we need Muslim women to go into these things. But the point is that these things are not important to the detriment of their religion. The religion is more important. Okay? Ala kulli hal, I digress. There's going to come a time where it's going to be very difficult. The Prophet ﷺ told us this. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Bada al-Islam ghariban wa sayaudu ghariban kama bada fatuba lil-ghuraba." That Islam began strange and it shall return to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. Glad tidings to the strangers. So we say to our sisters, if making you strange is because you cover, glad tidings to the strangers. It's good to be strange. If you're strange because you pray, glad tidings to the strangers. It's good to be strange. If you're strange because you won't smoke this or you won't drink that, then it's good to be strange. Glad tidings to the strangers. If you're strangers because you're holding on to the way of the Sahaba, then glad tidings to the strangers. No sister should ever be ashamed to say, I want to be like our mother Khadija. No Muslimah should ever feel ashamed to say, I want to be a scholar like our mother Aisha. No Muslim should be ashamed to let that be known. Who's your role model, sister? Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Who's your role model, sister? Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha. Who's your role model, sister? The mothers of the believers, they are my role models. Sahabiyat, they are my role models. I want to be like them. I want to be like them. Allahu Akbar. They should never be ashamed of that. Never, ever. And هؤلاء خير الناس. The Prophet ﷺ was asked, who are the best of mankind? He said, خير الناس قرني ثم الذين يلونهم ثم الذين يلونهم. Who in their right mind would want to be like the best of mankind? Who in their right mind would want to be like the best? Do we tell our children, when you go to school, don't worry about being the best? Just get D's, that's fine. D's is okay. Anybody say that to their kids? Your kid came home, he got 4 D's. D, every subject, you got a D. Okay, he didn't fail, but he got a D in every subject. Would you be happy with that? Would you buy him a present? You get on his case, say, what are you doing? When you go to school, shoot for the best. Get the A+. Make the honor roll. Right? Right, no one shoots for mediocrity. No one says, aim for low. No, you aim high. You understand? It even sounds funny to say aim low, right? It sounds like weird. That don't make sense. You aim high, you understand? So we want to be like the best. So who wouldn't want to be like the Sahaba? They're the best of mankind. Because the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked who's the best of mankind, he said the best of mankind is my generation. Then those who follow them, then those who follow them. The Sahaba, they're the best of mankind. Khairun nas. But it's understood what? And it's important, I want to stress this, and I want just to point this out quickly. For the brothers, of course, sisters, Juyaanee, you can't answer, but for the brothers to answer. The best of mankind, general or in any period, Or the best of mankind after another portion of mankind? Na'am, ahsant. The best of mankind meaning after the prophets and the messengers. After the prophets and the messengers. Because see, the prophets and the messengers, they are the best of mankind. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is the best of them. Na'am, but after the prophets and the messengers, then the best of mankind are who? The Sahaba. Na'am. So we should aspire to want to be like the Sahaba. We should aspire to want to be upon their way. When a person looks about this, then he will realize that really there is really no other way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Qur'an, He says, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبِعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. That those who came first and foremost from the Muhajirun and from the Ansar. Muhajirun and Ansar, that's the Sahaba, Humus Sahaba. And those who follow them in good. Those who follow them in good. So Allah Ta'ala is encouraging us to what? To be upon the way of the Sahaba. Because those who follow the Sahaba in good, Allah Ta'ala He says about them and about the Sahaba, what? رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمْ وَرَضُوا عَنْهُ. That Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Him. So Allah is pleased with the Sahaba. So why would we want to be like those whom Allah is pleased with? So it's incumbent that when we look at it from this standpoint, that we realize that really there is no other way, is it? Is there an option? That's logical. I mean, obviously, people can go and do something that's wrong, that's stupid, but is it logically sound to want to ascribe to be like someone who's not successful? Those who are successful, you emulate what they have done and you will be successful. Is that not what we understand in the dunya, in low terms? If someone's successful with a business model, then you know that business model is successful. Someone is unsuccessful with a business model, you know, don't take that business model because it's not proven to be successful. But that which is proven to be successful, then you want to do it because you want to emulate what? That success. So of course, when we look at this from this standpoint, then yes, we want to be like the Sahaba. We want to believe the same way they believe. We want to have our methodology the same way it was their methodology. We want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the same types of worship. Now, let us be clear. We're never going to get close to the Sahaba. No. We're never going to catch up to them. We can never truly compete with them. We're never going to match them and be on their level, let alone succeed them. You understand? Like you can't beat somebody in a race if you can't even catch up to them. You understand? We can't catch them, so we're never going to beat them. But the point is that what? That our worship should be in the same realm of worship. Now, to the extent that we worship, it's never going to be as good as theirs. Our khushur is not like theirs. It's not going to be like theirs. You understand? The taqwa that we have is not going to be like this. What they have sacrificed for the deen of Islam, we ain't never going to sacrifice nothing like that. You understand? So we understand these things. But the point is that we have to believe as they believe. Our methodology in calling to Allah should be the exact same as their methodology for calling to Allah. You see how Islam spread in their time? Our methodology to calling to Allah should be the same as their methodology in calling to Allah. Our worship should be the same types of worship. We shouldn't come with a worship in which they didn't know about. We're going to do something Abu Bakr, he never knew about that. We're going to do something that Umar and Uthman and Ali, radiallahu ta'ala, they never knew about it. We're going to do something that Bilal, he never knew about. We're going to do something that Abdullah ibn Mas'ud never knew about. Something Aisha never heard of. That wouldn't make sense. Because you know what? As the ulama they mentioned, لو كان خير لسبقونا إليه. If it was good, they would have beat us to it. If it was good, they would have beaten us in doing it. We're not going to beat the Sahaba in doing no good. And how could we? Because everything we know that's good is from what they transmitted to us. They transmitted it to us. So of course they beat us. They're going to beat us to it. They already did it. So when we look at this and we examine this, then we realize really, because people that come and say, well, there's many type of ways you can practice Islam. When we look at it, really? Was that the case in the time of the Prophet ﷺ? Anyone could pick what he wanted and that's it? No, I mean, what are they saying? What do young folks say? It is what it is. It is what it is. You understand? And it's not what we say it is. It's what Allah Ta'ala has revealed. It's what the Prophet ﷺ has taught us. It's what the Sahaba have transmitted to us. That is the deen of Islam. This is what we have to hold on and cling to. This is where it's going to be our success. So the Prophet ﷺ, he told us Islam began strange and it shall return to being strange. So glad tidings to the strangers. So I encourage my sisters to hold on and be strong. Don't worry about being strange. And to fear the trials and the tribulations that come upon the people. Because bila shak wa bila rayb, things are going to get bad. And individuals, they're going to fall into harm. So it's incumbent that we know what is the harm so we know what to avoid. It's like the poet when he mentions, he said, عَلَمْتُ الشَّرَّ لَا لِلشَّرِّ لَكِنْ لِتُوَقِّيهِ لِأَنَّمَا لَا يَعْلَمِ الْخَيْرِ مِنَ الشَّرِّ يَقَعَ فِيهِ. He said, I learned evil, not for the sake of learning evil, but so I can warn myself from it or be on caution from it. He said, because the one who is not able to to make a distinction between the good and the evil, then what's going to happen? You're going to fall into the evil. You understand? If you don't know what to look out from, then you're going to fall into it. I'll give you an example. Right? If I told you, I want you to go to the marketplace and I want you to buy only oranges. I don't want you to bring back any tangerines. If you bring back a tangerine, you're going to do whatever. You're going to be punished or whatever. Okay? No tangerines, only oranges. The only way you're going to be able to avoid a tangerine is that what? You have to know what is a tangerine. If you don't know what a tangerine is, you're not going to be able to avoid it. You're going to think it's an orange. You're going to say, oh, look, it's a small orange. Oh, look, it's a baby orange. Right? And then you're going to bring back a bunch of what you call baby oranges. I say, man, that's tangerine. I tell you, don't be no tangerine. You understand? So the only way to stay away from it, you got to know what it is. So there are some things that we have to learn, that we have to stay away from the likes of these things. And from them is that what? The Prophet ﷺ said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تأخذ أمتي بأخذ القرون قبلها. He said that the hour will not be established until my ummah, they take the same way as the nations from before. So we have to look, okay, what got the nations from before destroyed? Because the Prophet ﷺ told us that the hour won't be established until we do what they did. So, one, we know this is going to happen because the Prophet ﷺ, who was sadiq, masduq, he speaks the truth and he's believed. So we know it's going to happen. That's yani bila shak bila rayb. We also know that the Prophet ﷺ is not telling us this because he's pleased that these things will happen, but he's telling us this so as to inform us that these things are going to happen. Now, wait. So we have to look and we have to realize that yes, these things are going to happen. The Prophet ﷺ told us it's going to happen, but that don't mean we have to be the ones to do it. You understand what I'm saying? That don't mean we have to be the ones to, fulfill this. So it's important that we stay away from that, because we see what happened to the nations that came before us. So we have to avoid whatever they did so that we won't fall into that. The Prophet ﷺ said, Shibran bi shibran wa dhira' bi dhira'. Handspan by handspan, armspan by armspan. That we're going to follow what they did, handspan by handspan, armspan by armspan. فَقِيلَ يَا رَسُولُ اللَّهِ كَالْفَارِسِ وَالْرُومِ. So the Sahaba, they asked, O Messenger of Allah, like Persia and Rome, we're going to follow their same way? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ إِلَّا أُولَٰئِكَ. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, who from mankind if not them? You're going to follow them. You understand? So we have to be very wise and very diligent and look. Very wise, very diligent and very look, and be very keen on as to not imitate the way of the kuffar, not to imitate their lifestyle. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum. Whoever imitates a people, he is from them. And what is meant by imitation of a people, it means those things that are particular to those people, those things that are hallmarks, and those things that are the signatures of those people that those people are known for. You understand what I mean? This is what it means. It's not to say, oh, kuffar wear glasses, we can't wear glasses. No, kuffar are not known for glasses. Okay? But those things that are particular to the kuffar, that they are known for, and so on and so forth, then we can't imitate them in these things. We can't imitate them in the likes of these things. So we have to be very keen and very careful so as to not to want to imitate the kuffar. But in fact, we should always strive to be different from them. As the Prophet ﷺ, he used to enrage the Jews. He used to enrage the Jews of Medina. The Jews of Medina, they said to the Prophet ﷺ, it's not, there's nothing except you differ us in it. You're always being different. You're always being contrary to what we do. They were enraged by the Prophet ﷺ. This was the way of the Prophet ﷺ, is that he would strive to be different from the kuffar. But it's important that we know, we understand this, because the likes of these things that will grip the nation, they're not things that are going to happen all at one time. You understand that? They're not things that are going to happen all at one time. When the shaitan, when he is attacking someone and the onslaught against someone, it's not that which takes place all at one time, but it's slow and it's gradual to the point where you're being destroyed by thinking you're prospering. You're being destroyed by thinking you're getting ahead. You're being destroyed by thinking you're being successful. You end up becoming a loser by thinking you won. That's the way of shaitan. You understand? So we have to be careful, and we have to know that these things will come and they will creep bit by bit. A little bit here, we'll add to a little more the next day, we'll add to a little more the next time, we'll add to. Wa'iyadu billah. And the Prophet ﷺ, he explained this to us. That it will happen gradually. It won't happen all at one time. Now, and the Sahaba, they taught this to us from what they learned from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Tariq ibn Shihab قال قيل لحذيفة, it was said to Hudhayfa, أتركت بنو إسرائيل دينها في يوم واحد أو في يوم? Because remember the Prophet ﷺ said that we're going to follow the ways of those who came before us. Now we're going to follow the ways of those who came before us. Handspan by handspan, armspan by armspan. Now, so they asked Hudhayfa, did the people, did Banu Israel, did the Yahud, did they leave their religion in one day? Did they leave their religion in one day? Hudhayfa radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, La, no, not in one day. وَلَكِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا إِذَا أُمِرُوا بِشَيْءٍ تَرَكُوهُ. He said, no, but when they were ordered and commanded to do something, they left it off, they abandoned it. I'm bringing this to say, let us examine those commands that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Let us examine those commands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to see, are we implementing the commands of Allah and His Messenger, or are we leaving certain things off? Now, alhamdulillah, I don't believe anyone has left off all the commands, because such is not possible when you're still Muslim. Okay? But there may be certain things we know that we should do that we're not doing. And there may be certain things that we know we should not be doing them, yet we are doing them. You see? But we have to look at this as relates to ourselves, and we have to look at this as relates to the greater narrative, and that is what? Bani Israel, the children of Israel, the Yahud, they did not leave their religion all in one day. But what were the signs of them leaving their religion was that what? They were commanded to do things and they wouldn't do it. They were commanded to do things and they wouldn't do it. Hudhayfa, he said, وَإِذَا نَهُوا عَنْ شَيْءٍ رَكِبُوهُ. He said, and when they were prevented from doing something, when they were prohibited from doing something, they did it. They were told, don't do this, they did it. So those things that we know we shouldn't be doing, we have to fear Allah, we have to make tawbah unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to make tawbah because listen, we're only here for a short period of time. And to trade in this short period of time for forever, it's not worth it. Now, he said, حتى ينصلخوا من دينهم كما ينصلخ الرجل من قميصه. He said, until they took off their religion, they came out of their religion, it's like a man will come out of his shirt. It's like a man will take off his shirt. Now, so we have to be very wise. We have to be very wise, we have to be very steadfast. And from those ways of being steadfast, my dear sisters, is to accompany yourself with those individuals who are steadfast. As the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ar-rajulu ala dini khalili," a man is on the religion of his friend. So we have to accompany those who are good. Put ourselves around good people, people who are going to remind us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we forget. People who will help us remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we remember. People who prevent us from doing evil and who caution us from that which will harm us. We have to put ourselves around good people. We have to strive and acclimate ourselves to be around good people, because those who are like each other. Birds of a feather flock together. So we should strive to acclimate ourselves to be good, so that thus we will incline to those who are good. This is very important. This is tremendous. So I encourage my sisters to be around those sisters who are good. This will make it easy for you. This will make it easy for you to dress properly. This will make it easy for you to guard your modesty. This will make it easy for you to maintain your shyness when you're around sisters who are shy, sisters who are modest, sisters who dress properly. This will make it easy for you, be an encouragement for you. Sisters who pray, who say, "Oh sister, it's time for Asr, let's pray Asr. Sister, it's time for Maghrib, let's pray Maghrib. Sister, oh, it's time for Isha, let's pray Isha. Or sister, let's not go right now because the Salah will come in a little bit. Let's pray first. Let's pray first before we get into it. Let's pray first." Good friends, good companionship. This is very important. So I encourage my sisters to put themselves around good people in real life and also online as well. Even those virtual friends, that sometimes in this time people have more virtual friends than actual friends, but ala kulli hal, make sure that even these individuals are good sisters. They're good sisters. And you see I'm mentioning sisters because really the men and the women, even upon line, they shouldn't be interacting with one another like that. Ala kulli hal, make sure you put yourself around good sisters, even sisters online, good sisters. Sisters who are good, who will post benefits from the Qur'an, benefits from the Sunnah, benefits from the ulama of the Sunnah, so that you may benefit, you may be reminded, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, and thus you can be a benefit to them and remind them. And in real life, bila shakku, bila ray, put yourself around good people. And there's so much that could be said about this topic, and there's so much advice that can be given to the sisters and to the brothers, but due to a lack of time, we will suffice it with that. But I encourage my sisters to strive to learn their religion, to strive to learn their religion and to practice that which they have, that which they know, to strive to be good, to be wholesome, to strive to be of those who, when they meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Jalla wa'ala, He will be pleased with them. To strive to be women from the most outstanding of caliber, and that is if they will strive to be like the Sahabiyat, strive to be like our mothers, strive, learn about their biographies, not just for the sake of reading about their biographies, not just from the bab and the shape, not just from the bab of FYI, but so that we may imitate them, we may be like them. This is very important. And of course, bila shakku, bila rayb, strive to learn about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Read his biography, so we can learn how to be like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And strive in following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because if we truly love Allah, then we have to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is a test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us to. As Allah ta'ala, He says, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ. That say to them, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say to them, O Muhammad, say to them, that if you truly love Allah, then follow me. Meaning, who? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That if we truly love Allah, then we have to follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is an indication that if we don't follow the Prophet ﷺ, then this is an indication that we don't truly love Allah. Because if we truly love Allah, then we will follow His Messenger ﷺ. And if we were to follow the Messenger ﷺ, because we truly love Allah, then Allah will love us. And who is it except that we want that Allah to love us? ليس شأن أن تحب ولكن شأن كل شأن أن تحب. You see, it's not the issue that you love, because we all love Allah. Who in their right mind except he loves Allah? Who in their right mind except that she loves Allah? That's not the issue. But the issue is whether or not you are loved, whether or not Allah loves you. That's the question. And that's what we have to strive. So the sisters, to strive upon this, to strive to be from those whom Allah Ta'ala loves. And this is a life mission. This is a life mission. So with that, نكتفي بهذا القدر. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وجزاكم الله خيرا.